Hello, children. We are back talking about the spin-offs, the awkward phase in Star Wars. So, we kind of swapped out. Kevin had to go do something, but Evan is back for this one. Evan, greet the lovely people.
What's good, guys?
So, again, this is such a weird phase in, like, did you guys ever think we would be getting Star Wars spin-offs?
I figured it would, but not this soon.
I don't know. It's so weird to me that we have spin-offs for Star Wars of all things. Like, it's so weird. Regardless, so nobody really knew what to expect. We were all coming off the heels of The Force Awakens after this, and we were just wanting a good movie. So you guys know the rule. I would pick Rebel Alliance, but in terms of the plot and story for this movie, I'm gonna pick the dark side because, yeah. So, me and Jairus have very mixed opinions on this movie. First of all, Evan, what do you think about it? Let's start with you.
Personally, I really do like this film. I really find it enjoyable for some reason. I just, more or less because of K2, the robot, just being quite funny like most of the time.
First of all, before we keep going, what were your thoughts on Solo since you missed Solo?
I thought it was an interesting film. It wasn't my favorite, but it's not bad.
Okay. I wish you were there for it, but...
Side note, Donald Glover is amazing.
Yes. Jairus, what did you think of Rogue One?
Meh.
That was pretty much my reaction when the credits hit. Man, it was okay. Don't get me wrong, the first time I saw this movie, I was like, that wasn't the greatest movie. You know, it's better than Rise of Skywalker. It doesn't offend me.
Better than the Phantom Menace.
Yes. But, you know, this is probably the lower tier of Star Wars movies. That's just how we feel about it. It's meh. So, we're gonna go through it. So this movie starts in probably the most awkward way a Star Wars movie, even more awkward than Solo did. It's just like, bring, oh, here we go. And it's like, okay.
A fucking fight going on.
It's very weird. I will give you,
I was like, oh, okay, I guess we're here now. Right off the bat, this movie has the second best cinematography in the whole franchise. This movie looks absolutely phenomenal. Visually, it looks phenomenal. The space, you know, scenery looks phenomenal. I absolutely love the way everything looks in this movie. So a Jedi or knows of the Jedi, well, I'm pretty sure everybody knows of the Jedi, but I want to know if she's involved with the Jedi because she gives oh my god, back up. Jin receives a necklace from her that the necklace is it's a saber crystal, a lightsaber crystal. And first of all, those are probably really hard to come by. So I have to ask, where did she get that? You know, did somebody give that to her? Were Jin's mom's parents, you know, Jedi? Like, you know, I was legit curious. And she says, may the Force be with you. So I have to know. Well, at this point, the line, may the Force be with you, is tarnished because everybody says it and it has no meaning. That's just me. Like, at this point in the franchise, it's like, okay, everyone fucking says, may the Force be with you. Like, it doesn't mean anything. Like, when the Jedi says it, it's like, oh, okay, may the Force be with you. But when you have people like the people in this movie saying, may the Force be with you, it's like, okay, really? But moving on, the design for the Death Troopers are amazing. I love the look of the Death Troopers.
Yes. The Death Troopers are by far my favorite.
Ladies and gentlemen, El Mexico has returned. Kevin is here.
Hello.
Really quick before we keep going, what did you think of Rogue One?
It was fun. It was fine.
I rewatched it. The first time I watched it, I kind of liked it, but now it's just like, man. Kind of like the same with you guys.
Not and well, not all of us, because Nintendo really likes it. But so yeah, back to the Death Troopers, which I'm gonna use right now, because why not? I really like the Death Troopers a lot. So overall, the opening scene to this movie is actually really good. Yes, no, you guys feel the same?
The opening scene, you said?
Yes, the ending.
I mean, the ending scene was good.
The opening very started very awkward.
It did start very awkward, but I think the opening scene where Jin's mom dies and her dad gets kidnapped and shit, I think that's awesome. It's a great way to open the movie, and the way when Saw Gerrera finds her, which we'll talk about in a second, I like all of that. So then we cut to a Rogue One title card, which looks absolutely horrendous. So the first 20 minutes of this movie, I'd say, is really bad. There's so much jumping around. It is like a pinball machine of planets. And the way they did this is just to introduce the characters. It's so lazy. It's such a lazy way of introducing the characters. I don't like... Nintendo, did you feel the same way about that?
Evan?
Evan.
Whoa.
Alright, Nintendo died, so let's move
Evan!
I'm back.
Oh. Okay, so we were talking about how the character, like the first 20 minutes, how we all thought it was really choppy, and how they, like, just pinballed, and it was like a really lazy way of introducing characters.
Yeah, it kind of was. In the first 20 minutes, I was kind of really bored.
Yeah, I personally, I just hated the way they introduced everybody. They introduced Jin as an adult, then they introduced, the pilot, which I don't know his name. I will call him the pilot the whole movie, because this movie really emphasizes that he's a pilot, which we'll talk about in a second.
He's the pilot.
But there's a lot of characters in this game. I don't know a lot of people's characters' names in the movie, because they don't develop you know what? We'll get back to that in a second. So, but yeah, I don't like how they introduced characters. I thought it was really lazy, and instead of letting it happen naturally and let us getting invested, it was just like, oh, here's this person, oh, here's that person, oh, here's this person, oh, here's that person. Okay, moving on.
Yeah, I
Then
agree, dude.
we get to the scene where this might well have just been called an exposition session, because literally this whole scene is just, oh, this is Jin. She did this and this when she was this age. She did this, then she did this. I hate this. Why are the characters just telling us everything about Jin instead of letting us find out who she is on our own? I don't like that. I hate that.
It was that, spoiler alert, these characters weren't going to really be in the few more movies, so...
I can understand that, but, I don't know, to me, it's so lazy. I really hate it. Jairus, why are you inviting me?
The matchmaking master.
Alright, well, we're gonna finish, so just give us a second. I really hate it how they introduce characters in this movie. It's so lazy. And the way, even more, is how they try to develop the characters. It's really stupid. I hate the way they develop the characters in this movie. It's awful. Moving on. I like the cameo from General Organa from episode 3. Nice little cameo. Let's talk about the CGI Grand Moff Tarkin. Um,
Oh dear.
I have mixed feelings about this. I don't hate it, believe it or not. I don't hate it. I actually think
Really?
the effect doesn't look all that bad. At some scenes, it looks awkward. But at other scenes, it doesn't look that bad. We'll talk about bad CGI in just a little bit, but
Oh yeah,
I,
it's not that long until we get to some bad CGI.
you know, I don't hate it. You know, and honestly, Grandma Tarkin fits perfect in this movie. You know, his role is not the bad thing about it. It's just sometimes, first of all, I've never liked it when they've resurrected actors with CGI. I think it's actually really offensive when they do that. But
Yeah.
this was probably one of the first times that they did it, so it's not an issue. But like the effect works, but sometimes when he's interacting with other real characters, it to me it just doesn't work when that's happening. But when it's by himself, like that shot where he's looking at the Death Star outside, like that's a great shot. I think it looks really good there. But there's other times where it just looks awkward. What do you guys think about it?
Yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with that. It's just sometimes it just really threw me off, but sometimes it just wasn't terrible.
So another positive for this movie is I like the look of it. It's like really grounded. It doesn't look like this takes place in a galaxy. This looks like it takes place, you know, on a normal place. When they go to Jeddah, the town looks very, you know, oh, excuse me, like it looks very dirty and deserted, no pun intended. I like that. By the way, everybody back out so we can get Jerry's.
Yeah.
So now I need to ask the question, where did Jin learn how to fight like a pro fighter?
Like a what, sorry?
Like a pro fighter. She literally goes into a alleyway with 5 stormtroopers and beats the shit out of them without any, you know, struggle.
Well, for the fact is that she was...
Now,
Well, it was alluded to that... hold on.
go
It was
ahead.
alluded to the fact... Yay. It was alluded to the fact that... what was his name? Said like he was like the best in like the Force when she was like 16. Forgot his name already.
Look, again, look.
So,
This
he's
goes
like,
back.
so apparently she's like a really good fighter.
This goes back to lazy writing in the script. The script in this movie is really lazy, if you ask me.
Yeah.
I really just don't like the script.
It just feels rushed.
Yeah, I think the point of it is because they want you to feel about these characters because they're gonna die. But they did a poor job at making us care about some of these characters.
So, probably one of the... What the hell? One of the biggest positives of this movie... Why is it doing that? Oh my god, come on. Why is it being... Okay, apparently I can't find a game.
Amateur. I got it. Can't.
Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Guys, try to load into a game while I keep going with this. So, one of the big positives of this movie is Donnie Yen as the blind guy. I don't know his name.
Oh, there's this dude that screams it a couple of times. Oh, I'm thinking of it right now.
I don't know his name. Don't try to think of his name. It's stupid. But, or we're just gonna ref it. Bro! Battlefront pisses me off. Somebody else be host. I'm gonna leave. Somebody else be host. What was I gonna say? Donnie Yen... Probably. I don't know. I like Donnie Yen's character, and I think Donnie Yen is actually very good in the movie. Oh, fuck my life. I can't... I just realized I can't join, because it's gonna stop the review. Fuck my life. Okay, fuck it. Fuck it. I'll just play separately.
Alright, let's do this.
So, back to the review. I'm sorry, guys. Technical difficulties. Fucking shit. Donnie, I like Donnie Yen's character a lot. He's really cool. He has probably some of the best lines in the movie, and I just like Donnie Yen. Period. He's a great actor for action, and I think he fits like a glove in this movie. So then we get to a conversation with Jin and Saw Gerrera. And this conversation means absolutely nothing. You know why? Because we saw Gerrera for about 5 minutes, and that's it. No, not even 5 minutes. It was like about 5 seconds, and we know nothing about this character. And they're having a whole emotional conversation, and it means nothing. I don't get it. And also, she says she basically dumps even more exposition, saying, "Oh, that he left her when she was 16." Why didn't we see that? I don't get it.
At least a flashback would have been nice.
Well, apparently there was a lot of cut footage from this movie. You can tell why, or you can tell that it was. So then we get to again, yeah. The character. So first of all, Forrest Whitaker is terrible in this movie. I hate I hate the way he acts in this movie. It's really terrible. Oh, speaking of exposition, I forgot. I said so they couldn't think of another way to get the truth out of the pilot rather than a shitty CGI tentacle monster. That scene was awful.
Yeah, I was just cringing at the fact that the pilot was just sitting there just like, help me, help me. I'm sitting there just like,
I'm in danger.
Why?
I'm in danger.
It was so bad. I hated it. It was...
My opinion, that was like the worst scene in the movie. I hated it.
Probably. It was embarrassing. Bless you. So...
I don't know, it had no lasting impact on me.
No, first of all, the CGI was god-awful. And second of all, he tells him that he's a pilot 3 fucking times. Why are you gonna tell somebody the same thing 3 times if it's not true? Whatever, moving on.
Like that.
I also find it funny because the Saw didn't believe him, but then you see later in the film one of the characters like identified him Imperial pilot.
Mm-hmm.
The writing is shit.
So moving on, speaking of the pilot, well, I literally put it in my notes, how many times are they gonna call Riz Ahmed a pilot? They say about 20 times in this movie, pilot. Like, I think 2 people in a row asked him, are you the pilot? Are you the pilot? Like, okay, we get it. He's a pilot. That's like somebody, like 3 people in a row asking, Ray, are you a Jedi? Are you a Jedi? Are you a Jedi?
You see the lightsaber, correct?
I mean, if you ask me, she's not a fucking Jedi. I mean, if you ask me, she's not a Jedi. She's a fake Jedi, but moving on. Like, yeah, it got so annoying. It got so annoying to the point where I put it in my notes. I was like, how many times are they gonna call him a pilot? So then we get to the scene where the Death Star attacks Jeddah, and first of all, the scene where the Death Star eclipses the sun is epic. I love that shot.
Yeah,
that is a great shot. So moving on, I actually like that scene where, you know, Jeddah blows up. It's a nice scene. The effects are great. So this brings me back to Grand Moff Tarkin. Personally, I think he's awesome in this movie. Like, you know, they did a really good job with, you know, because he was always a highlight in episode 4. Everyone who likes the original trilogy always says, why did they kill off Grand Moff Tarkin? He should have lasted a lot longer, you know. And, you know, they got that. They gave us that. And, you know, again, it's really weird that he's fully CGI, but, you know, I don't mind him. I really like seeing him on screen. You know, he's a really cool character in the franchise. Oh, excuse me. Let me regroup here. Give me a second. So, I said that the score in this movie is fantastic, which is a given. Like,
I mean, it's
John Williams. I mean, come on.
Who can go wrong?
King Williams, my boy. King Williams.
Yes, indeed. So, then we get the scene where Jin's father dies, and I actually really like that scene. Felicity Jones is really great in this movie. She just had a character, but they try to give Cassian character by saying, like, when he goes to kill Jin's father and then doesn't. I don't know what they were trying to say. But regardless, that happens, and then we get more exposition thrown at us. Cassian is like, oh, I've been in the fight since I was 6 years old. Again, what does that mean?
Where's the story?
You look at Rey and you look at Finn, you know everything about them. You know Finn was a stormtrooper, but then he realized that what they were doing wasn't right, and so he rebelled. Rey was a scavenger on Jakku, and then she became, you know, a Jedi, or what they want us to believe is a Jedi. Chewbacca was a smuggler with Han Solo, who they always flew together. Han Solo, vice versa. He was a smuggler. Princess Leia was a general, a person who was in the rebellion. You know, I can tell you so much about the characters from the original trilogy. I cannot tell you anything about the characters in this movie. You know what I can tell you? Donnie Yen's character is blind. That's what I can tell you. and he has the Force.
Now it's just causing trouble.
And apparently he has the Force. That's the only thing I can tell you.
He was a Guardian, so.
So then we get to the introduction of Darth Vader, and this gave me chills. I loved this so much. This was amazing.
Little thing where he can breathe and shit. Like, oh yes.
First of all, I love that they showed Mustafar again. Oh my god, Mustafar. It's like we never left you. But, you know, I love the look of Mustafar. To me, Mustafar looks better in this movie than it did in Revenge of the Sith.
Yes.
I mean, it was like 11 years since between the two movie releases.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean anything.
It does.
No, it doesn't. So then we get the first scene with Darth Vader in it, probably one of the two scenes in this movie, which is a big negative for me in this movie. Why was Vader not in this movie more? He should have been in this movie a lot more, because they nailed him in this movie. They did Vader perfect again in this movie, and it's just like, oh. And I find it ironic that this director directed Godzilla, and the main complaint from that movie was, oh, Godzilla was barely in the movie.
And look what happened now.
So, moving on, we get a great scene with Krennic, and oh, by the way, Matt. Oh my God, I don't know his name. The actor that plays Krennic. He's a famous actor. He plays the villain. He was the villain in Ready Player One. He's the villain in this movie. He's really good as Krennic. I like him a lot. He's a really good actor. That scene is great, and I love the Vader Force choke. It's iconic. I love it. I love the line too. He said, "Don't choke on your aspirations, director." I love it.
Oh, I swear, the position of this anime, that shit's me.
So, we get to the last third of this movie, which is probably the thing that this movie will be known for at all times. I said I like the mission that it's a rogue mission that like the rebellion didn't want them to do. Like I like that it was a secret at first. Scarif is one of the best planets in Star Wars ever. Don't at me. I love Scarif so much. It's beautiful. K2SO is amazing. I love K2SO. He's probably the only character in this movie who has legit character. We don't know anything about him, but he has more character than 50% of the people in this movie.
I mean, you can kind of see the character in him and just be like, oh, he was a reprogrammed,
Imperial droid.
Yeah. It was quite hilarious throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, I like the scene where...
There's a 25% chance you're all going to die.
I like the scene where Jin shoots the Imperial droid and he goes, "Did you know that was me?" And she goes, "Of course I did."
Funny. And then when just like catches the grenade, throws it behind him. And
yeah, that
like
was a great scene too.
That was hilarious.
Like, yeah,
that was really funny.
So then this brings us to the Battle of Scarif. I will say this right off the bat. The ending, the third act of this movie, the last 30 to 25 minutes of this movie is a fantastic. Probably the best third act of a Star Wars movie. It's between this and Empire. I will say that. And Last Jedi. I do like the third act of Last Jedi. But I have an issue with this ending. I don't like how abruptly the characters die. Like, the first one to go is K2SO. And you feel bad because, well, K2SO is probably the best character in the movie aside from Jin. But then once K2SO dies, they just start falling off like dominoes. And it's like, well, you're not giving us time to really, you know, think about the deaths. They're kind of just happening. Like,
kind of like Order 66.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, you look at Endgame, right? Let's say Iron Man died, or Black Widow died, right? And we're really, like, shaken up about it. We're like, oh, man. And then 2 seconds later, Iron Man dies. Well, it's like, oh, well, what do you want me to feel? You want me to feel bad for Iron Man? You want me to feel bad for Black Widow? Like, you feel really bad about K2SO, but then you're just like, oh, well, now this guy's dead.
Oh, there was the plan.
I like the scene.
Up in the end, just killed everyone.
I like the scene where the pilot dies. That was a good scene too. I was like, oh shit. That was one of those. You know, that was.
The mission and then the fucking ship and boom.
The whole shit went south, and then the last death that even meant anything was when the blind guy died. That was a great scene.
Oh yeah, that was a really good scene.
But then when
how he just went up and then just exploded the entire fucking shit.
Yeah, I like and then the scene where his best friend comforts him. I like that he comforts him, but when he dies, I just don't care. It's like, oh, okay, you're dead now too. That's cool.
What a shame.
Yeah.
And it's like all of a sudden he believes in the Force.
And then
he's trying to bring his friend to back up and not die. It's just like that denial shit, like in grief. I mean, I kind of felt like that was the cool part, and then it just continued it. It just felt like, all right, cool, die already.
So when Cassian gets shot, when they're looking for the Death Stars, by the way, there's a tile that says Black Saber. If you know Mandalorian, you know why I say that.
Oh, yeah.
And it was also in Clone Wars, when I get to it, I believe it was there.
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't watch Clone Wars, I don't know.
Well, me and Kevin are watching Clone Wars right now. What was I gonna say? But they find the Death Star plans. Am I the only one that thought that the scene where they looked for the Death Star plans reminded me of them looking at a claw machine?
Alright, which is the best price to take?
Yo, which one do you want, little son?
Yo, Stardust! Alright, Timmy, I will try.
That's what the scene reminded me of.
I can't do it, no.
That it just reminded me of a claw machine. I don't know, but when that scene where Cassian gets shot, I was just like, oh no, was I supposed to feel bad?
Shit. Come back.
I like the scene where Jin. I like the scene where Jin goes to the top to fix the thing. I do like that. I like the altercation between her and Krennic at the top. I think it's great. What was I gonna say? I like when Cassian rescues her. Oh my God! We didn't even talk about the space stuff. The whole space battle, guys. This space battle is probably the best space battle. If it's not this, then it's probably Return of the Jedi. But my God, the space battle in this movie is epic. It's so epic. I love when
That last part was insane too.
yes, the part where they hammerhead the Star Destroyer is absolutely incredible. That is so epic when they do that. The score in that scene is phenomenal. Just everything in the moment is just fantastic. I love it. And I love how there was this urgency, like we gotta get, that's probably the best thing about the last 30 minutes. It feels like urgent, like we have to do this or else everything's gonna go south. I love that. I love how
it was really good because they had to because they're going to succeed in getting the plans to the rebels, because that's exactly what happens in the quote. But it feels that kind of sense of urgency, like, okay, we gotta get it.
And I like go down, that's it. And I like how immediately the movie kind of goes from, oh, we got to get the plan, because they get the plans rather easily. But, Cassian just took a bullet, it's whatever. But they get the plans rather easily. It's the real thing was, okay, how are we gonna get this force field down? And I love how the whole space battle, it revolves around that. They start shooting at the force field. They start throwing things into the force field in terms of like ships and everything. I like how it just comes down to, okay, we need to use their own equipment against them. And that scene where they hammerhead, again, it's so fucking incredible when they do that. So then Krennic dies. What the fucking do? Then the Death Star shoots at Scarif, and it doesn't blow up the planet. It just puts a hole in it basically. And Jin and Cassian die. Rest in peace. And then the movie's over, right? Actually, no. So they transmit the Death Star plans to a rebel ship. They get them, and then Mr. Soldier Guy is going to open the door, and the door jams. He's having a really bad day, but not as bad as it's about to be. And
like a whole lot worse, buddy.
Then
you think it's bad now?
Dun.
So
Darth Vader just comes out and just one of the best scenes in the movie. Just
guys,
up, just massacres.
Guys, this was easily the best. This is equivalent with the Luke Skywalker fight in Empire Strikes Back. This was easily the best Darth Vader scene of all time. This is so epic. This was the perfect way to end this movie. Darth Vader freaking cleans house on everybody. He has God mode enabled for days. He's just choking people, throwing them up in the ceiling, slicing them. Oh my God, it was so epic. Oh my Lord.
Also, not to mention the panic on the one guy's face that had the plan.
Yeah,
like,
but I also love.
It literally looks like he was like screaming for his life, and it just.
But you know what? I also love how the scene turns from, oh, open the door, and then the guy goes, here, take it, go. I love that. I love how the plane went from, oh, I want to be alive, to fuck it, get the plans and get out of here, go. And then eventually the rebels get away, and Darth Vader's like, oh man, Emperor's really gonna give it to me, huh? So then we get to
Well,
the next rebel ship, and the rebels give the Death Star plans to somebody who's cloaked, and it reveals a shitty CGI Leia. Yay! Man, they can't do this woman justice, huh?
No, they cannot.
I think that was the year she died too.
They're
I
just
don't
trying to
know.
milk out every
I think she
possible
died like a week after that movie came out.
Oh yeah. Whatever. That was Rogue One, guys. In the end, it's okay. Me and Kevin and Ye and Jairus, we all think it's okay. Evan really likes it. In the end, it's not terrible, but it's not great either. I would much rather watch The Force Awakens or Empire or New Hope or Revenge of the Sith over this any day. But regardless, we don't hate the Star Wars spin-offs. We think they're just okay. Well, Solo we really like, but Rogue One, it's just okay. Thank you guys so much. We're gonna be taking a bit of a break from the reviews, and we'll be back shortly. Don't worry, don't miss us now. And we'll be back soon. Leave a like and subscribe if you guys haven't already, and we'll see you on the reviews for A New Hope and Empire. See you.